but she's in the sky, and it feels like a cell. So
yeah, and I did like her mentioning, when my father was here and all the kids were running around growing up, this place was
memories all alone in the moonlight. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Brotherhood Without Manners, your favorite full spoiler reread podcast of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series, reading for one of the last times, A Storm of Swords. As always, I am Zach, sitting here with me, my brother Nate, who has a fucking shit-ass cat that scratched my finger, and now it hurties.
I was sad because you mentioned it being one of the last times for this book, but now I'm happy again because
your shit-ass cat scratched my finger, and it hurties.
Lami tore your ass up.
Yeah, he did.
Like
he got me right in the dead center of the finger, y'all. It hurts.
Yeah, he's a little shit sometimes.
He's a shit.
She's a little dopey shit.
Did you say she?
Shit.
Oh,
dopey
it
shit.
Sounded like you said she's a little dopey shit.
No, he's a little dopey shit.
I mean, I'm not assuming your cat's gender. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, he's a boy. I mean,
I haven't looked.
He's Lami.
I've looked.
So, anyway, we're full spoiler. If you haven't been here before, now you know. If you have been here before, you're used to this kind of stuff.
My finger hurts.
All right, I don't want to listen to it this whole
You're
episode.
Listening to it.
We are going to be focusing on Sansa,
as Nate calls it, the last chapter in the book, because the epilogue doesn't count. It's not a chapter.
Say the last chapter.
It doesn't count as a chapter.
Episode.
You did. You were like, it's an
epilogue.
It's in a chapter.
It's not a chapter. It's an epilogue.
It's not a POV.
It's not a chapter.
But Nate just discounts it. The book ends here, y'all. So, GG's. We're done.
There's an epilogue that's after the last chapter.
He's a fucking loser, is what I'm saying.
Dang.
We are reading Sansa. Sansa is the last POV we have. It's been a journey to get here. It's been a good one.
Mostly.
I was thinking about it. Okay.
It's been a long time.
It has, yes. This book.
Lots of stuff's happened.
Lots of stuff has happened. I was thinking about it reading this chapter that Sansa's one of the standouts for me in this book. I really like her journey, her arc, where, especially in this chapter, Sansa 7 is the one we'll be covering today. Sansa's full kind of growth, her arc kind of comes front stage, and this is just a banger chapter. It's great. Yeah. I don't know what it is particularly. I'm sure we'll discuss it.
It's the snow.
No, well, we done it.
So last episode we finished up Jon. He had just finally got voted as Lord Commander.
About fucking time. On. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much where
we've been harping on it. It was motherfuckers like Janos Slynt and Alistair Thorne were bringing King's Landing politics to the wall. Sam fucking had enough of that shit and was like, watch when I Tarly, and he did. Right. And then Jon's Lord Commander now, so when Sam Tarleys, he Tarleys hard, y'all.
Right. We know Stannis has some plans going on up there too, but
yeah, Stannis is trying to do king shit, and kings don't do well at the wall. So.
King and prophecy shit, but
mostly king shit. And we're gearing up for feasts. We've left a couple other characters behind. We know Tyrion's on his way to the Free Cities. Dany is staying in the Free Cities. We know that Bran is north of the Wall doing stuff with the Three-Eyed Raven.
Arya's on her way to the Free Cities. After
saying bye-bye to the Houndy. And so, yeah, people are moving. Sansa is our last POV. And last we had left Sansa, she made a daring escape from King's Landing, aided by Sir Dantos Hollard, who then was shot the shit up by Littlefinger on a boat, and they made their way to first the Fingers, which is just a little shitty piece of land that Littlefinger shits all over, and there's people that are quite happy there, his household, unfortunately. And Lysa showed up there and was like, yo, what up? We getting married. And they did. And then they fucked. And it was loud. And Marillion tried to rape Sansa. And Lothar Brune was like, I'll fucking gut you. And we were like, Lothar's a real one.
He's a real one.
I mean, the bar's real low in Westeros. Yeah, right.
Don't rape. And you've basically got the title there.
Stop raping, sir.
But more for that, Lothar openly contested a rape. Like, actually vocalized, hey, Please don't rape.
There's probably connotations that it's because like Littlefinger has claimed her,
Right,
but we'll try to give Lothar this win. Also, we didn't really address it, but this episode's coming a bit late. We had some, I was sick, then Nate got sick, then we had some technical issues. And so as of this recording, we are balls deep, 2 episodes deep into A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and it's fabtabulous.
It's great.
It's wonderful. We've decided to skip doing coverage of shows. We've been burned by show coverage before. It also puts just too much on our plate. We are busy individuals. But Night of the Seven Kingdoms, it's fucking stellar. Love it. 10 out of 10. No notes. I love Egg. I love Dunk. And that's what it made me think of Dunk saying, "Stop raping, sir," with Lothar Brune. But it's a great show. Ira Parker, you're knocking it out of the park. Your first 30 seconds of every episode being completely out of pocket is pretty wild, but whatever, I'm here for it. Good for Sir Arlen, I guess.
Right, sure, I guess so, yeah.
So, Sansa 7, y'all. She wakes up suddenly, as she had been dreaming of home, of when she was little and sharing a room with Arya, but the bedmaid stirring is not Arya, and this is not Winterfell. This is the Eyrie, and she is Elaine Stone, a bastard girl. Na 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 na. So, anything to this dream?
No, I do. Again, I've mentioned a few times in the past the structure and organization of chapters, and Jon into Sansa with her, kind of embracing that bastard title in this moment, like, oh, I'm not that soft,
as Jon
weak
becomes
girl.
a lord,
right? As Jon
in truth,
actually becoming a powerful figure within the realm, as well as being offered ownership over her home that technically now she's heir to based on Dornish rules.
Yeah, no kidding. She thinks that the Eyrie was no home, which, damn, shots fired. Fuck you, Jon Arryn. There is no place to go and little to do, which, right. She compares it, she says that the castle is no bigger than Maegor's Holdfast, so that immediately is putting her in mind of when she was confined to Maegor's Holdfast.
Right.
And as we recall, all she could do was go out to the yard and ride her fucking horse around in circles. She can't even do that here. Because you don't have horses up here. She doesn't have a horse up here.
But it's still a prison,
but it's a prison of sorts, and absolutely, she may not be in a sky cell, but she's in the sky, and it feels like a cell. So
yeah, and I did like her mentioning, when my father was here and all the kids were running around growing up, this place was
memories all alone in the moonlight.
That definitely was getting sung throughout the halls. Absolutely.
Ned Stark, Baratheon brothers, they were like, "Yo, what up, Giggle Giggle?" And Jon Arryn was like,
boy band.
Yeah, Jon Arryn was either creepy, with the little children, with the children, or he was the coolest uncle ever and was like, "Yo, what up? They're just having a great time. Let them run, let them frolic." But she thinks that Lysa keeps a small household, seldom permits guests. She's creepy Black Widow levels of neurotic, and her only companion is Lord Robert, as we know and as we'll learn, not great company to keep, and Marillion. Fucking Marillion. The sexual predator, the pervert, the absolute dickhead that Lysa dotes on. She's already sent away 2 serving girls and a page for spreading quote-unquote lies about him, which is probably them reporting sexual assault that he has done, and Lysa being like, "No, I love him. He's my singer.
He's my singer, and he can rape you."
And
That's
he can,
it's just a rule.
It's gross. We don't like it. It's real interesting how Marillion has, weaseled his way into this position of power here. Sansa does allude to it, but I think it has to do with how bored and lonely Lysa is feeling currently.
Right, especially because Peter's rarely here.
Yeah.
Usually he's down at the southern, I don't know if that's southern, but the lower altitude stations of the Eyrie, checking in on the High Lord situation. And from what Sansa can hear from the few people that are up here, not many people like him. He's
Yeah.
kind of a shit, and they don't trust him. The fact that he moved in and got married
Yeah,
and
they
shacked up
see
with
the
Lysa.
ploy he's pulling and
Right.
how quick it all happened, and that now he is literally the most powerful individual in the Vale, shy of kind of Lysa herself, but because he's a male, he now kind of holds all the power as Lord Protector of the Vale, and it's Littlefinger Peter fucking Baelish who would be like, hey! There's also a lot of resentment built up over Lysa not joining Robb's war, not aiding Robb, which is huge. That will be huge for Sansa in the future, that there's straight up, who is it? Is it House Royce? House Royce is near open revolt over her aunt's failure to aid Robb in his war, which means that when Sansa's like, what up, I'm ready to stake my claim, they're going to be like, girl, we got you. We fucking
know.
love your family, dude.
Yeah.
And so that's huge. That's one of the things he's dealing with, but there's a bunch of other houses that are with them as well. Waynwoods, Redforts, Belmores, Templetons, giving them every support. The mountain clans are suddenly being troublesome as well, which, you know, as we know, is probably tied to Tywin, Tywin and Tyrion arming them,
Right.
giving them all sorts of fucking arms, armor, weapons.
We did also learn that they were doing a bit of an uprising from an Arya chapter previously as well, because the Hound was willing to do some work to, you know, prolong getting here to the Eyrie. I like this next part because Sansa realizes it snows and kind of walks out to look out over the garden and shit. It just really made me think of Dany's emerging scene when she did the burning and had her dragons appear, just kind of the reverse, with her like walking out into this pristine cold where she almost seems unbothered.
It also made me think of Jon
it.
when Jon wakes up to snow north of the wall when they range. It was earlier in the book, but when they first range north of the wall and he wakes up and everything is kind of covered in this frost. It's great. So she opens the shutters and sees that it has snowed, and she also has the "is this what woke me" thought, which I don't know why, but like, woo woo wee woo wee woo. Why would snow falling wake you, girl? Like, unless it's straight up old gods being like, hey,
You should see this.
You are of the cold. You are of
and that's kind of
winter
where I was
falling.
leaning with it, because it's that Dany is the epitome of fire with her dragons, and here's another Stark. Let's show their extra ties to the cold and the old
thinking
gods
about
and the
home,
North
who's
and,
missing home,
right.
longing for home, not feeling like a Stark at all, and so...
And it's almost this, like, because she went so far south, it's kind of like the cold and her finally met in the middle, and now they can...
Well, right, she reached an altitude, a northern altitude, as you would say, going high into the sky to where it's plausible, although we will learn from the chapter not a chapter epilogue that it snowed in quite a few places in the realm, even just a light dusting, but this snow is not, it's pretty indicative of winter on its way.
Didn't you hear? Winter is coming, and
so,
also father broke his leg.
That's not the worst of it. But yeah, was this what woke me really stood out to me this chapter, because like, why the fuck would snowfall wake you?
Because it's cold.
But it's not. She's fucking fine. She's all
walking
like
on the stones barefoot and
she's like safe and warm in her bed. Like, so it's literally the call to home is the illusion here. Love it. So yeah, she thinks back to the day she'd left Winterfell. It had been snowing that day. Sad, tears all around. She remembers the snow in Robb's hair. Lots of Robb this chapter, which I also
dead.
like. Yep, he's dead, and she thinks, I thought my song was beginning that day, but it was almost done. Similar to Robb. Robb thought his song was just beginning that day, but
we've only
her song actually was beginning that day. She's brooding and depressed here, rightfully so, but she's still got a long way to go. It was actually more Robb's song who was starting to wrap up that day.
Poor Robbie.
So, yeah, she knows it'll be cold, but she means to go down outside, so she throws on a bunch of stuff. She finally hoods herself in a cloak of soft white fox fur, which I just think is an interesting illusion for her of her becoming this sort of sly fox.
Yeah.
She's going to be the one to outsmart Littlefinger. I have no doubt in my mind she's going to be his downfall, and so I like that the kind of sly fox imagery is already coming up. This white fox
Coupled
in the
with
snow.
The white fox, the white part, which also, ghost imagery, little tiny version of a ghost.
Who just returned.
Yep.
Sansa eases open the door, makes her way down the winding stairs, and when she opens the door to the garden, it's so lovely that she holds her breath, unwilling to disturb the perfect beauty. As you said, it's sort of this untouched landscape, similar to Dany with hers, similar to Jon's when he wakes up to it. The world outside is all color had fled. I liked it's a place of white and blacks and grays. It'll be very similar in the long night. The white towers, the white snow, the white statues, the black shadows, the black trees, and the dark gray sky above. So you can kind of invert that with like the white everywhere, but the sky will be black because it'll be night, and the gray shadows and everything will be the White Walkers, and that'll be scary.
Yeah.
It's a pure world, Sansa thinks, and I do not belong here. Oof.
I mean, it's almost the opposite, that it's a terrible world. You're
and
the only
you
thing
are pure.
that is pure
Yes.
left in the world.
And it's showing that growth where she's going to start being a player, and eventually
Right, she's not going to be pure no more.
she's not going to be pure, and it's sad, but it's growing up.
And that's also part of her, dressing like a white fox as well. Her wearing that pure white colors.
She's part of it. She belongs in this world. She does, and moving about it as a sly fox is going to be not necessity, but it is part of that world. Like, you do expect to see animals frolicking in the snow,
and then coupled with the purity of white and its meaning behind being a young girl like her.
So yet all the same, she steps out, her boots tearing ankle deep holes into the smooth white surface of the snow. Ankle deep, so it's about a foot of snow. It's a decent little snowfall. She drifts past frosted shrubs and thin, dark trees. I like the drifted, similar ghost imagery. Again, she's kind of just ethereal out here in the garden.
Gliding around.
The drifting snowflakes brush her face, light as lovers' kisses. It's that poetic imagery still, the songs and all that for Sansa, but there's a maturity to it now. She knows that the world is not a song, and she sees past it, yet still Martin peppers in the snowflakes are kisses on her cheeks. Like, it's fucking brilliant, and I love it. So she goes to the center of the garden, beside the statue of the weeping woman that lay broken and half buried on the ground. There's no symbolism there whatsoever.
Right.
Lady Stoneheart, stone statue, crying woman, raked face, Sansa feeling sad and terrible, all sorts of stuff. She could feel the snow on her lashes, taste it on her lips. It was the taste of Winterfell, the taste of innocence, the taste of dreams.
Aw.
Fuck. It's so good, man. When she opens her eyes again, she's on her knees. She doesn't remember falling. Oof. But it seems to her that the sky is a little lighter shade of gray as dawn is finally approaching. Another new day, she thinks, but it's the old ones she hungers for. The old gods? The old ones? The great old ones? Cthulhu?
Or the old days.
Oh.
Just the days.
Sure.
Yep, the old ones.
Sansa is Euron? Oh, no. Okay. The old days she longs for. Well, yeah, she was dreaming of it. She was just dreaming of, sharing a room with her annoying little sister. Yeah. And it's that, like, damn it, I hated her at the time, but now what I wouldn't give to have Arya annoying the piss out of me.
Hindsight is 20/20. Yep.
So she scoops up a handful of snow and starts making snowballs and squishing them around till they're round and white and perfect, because she's Sansa fucking Stark, and you're goddamn right, her snowballs are gonna be perfection.
Unfortunately, it doesn't mean she has somebody to play with.
I hate it.
Yeah, having that little pile of snowballs already, but nobody to actually start chucking them at.
No one worth it. Not here in this fucking
Not
shithole castle. Yeah, there's no one who would be fun.
They're either going to get creepy and turned on by the ice and the cold of it, or they're going to be Robert and start whining and screaming because you're being too rough.
It brings to mind a summer snow in Winterfell when Arya and Bran had ambushed her as she emerged from the keep. They each had a dozen snowballs to hand. She had none. Bran was on the roof, of course, because he's a little climbing shit. But Sansa had chased Arya through the stables and around the kitchen till both of them were out of breath. She might have caught her, but she slipped on some ice, and it was Jory, poor old dead Jory, who pulled them apart, laughing eventually when Sansa did catch her. And then she has the sad thought of, what do I want with snowballs now? There's no one to throw them at. And then she thinks I could build a snow knight instead, because she needs a knight currently. She needs some protection, and then she begins to build. Sansa the Builder? Fuck Bran the Builder. We got Sansa the Builder because she builds Winterfell.
The most badass snow replica of Winterfell.
A fucking crazy replica of holy shit. Yeah, I don't know. Nate and I are from New England. We've dealt in the snow quite a lot. It isn't the easiest fucking thing to just be packing together and building stuff with. I understand it's a fantasy story, but damn, this is fucking cool.
It's like people on the beach that are making those super judged sand
right, yeah, the
castles
sand building things, yeah.
Fuck Sansa.
And all the while, the snow keeps falling, piling up, drifts around her buildings as fast as she raised them. So it is literally, she's building Winterfell during the long night as the snow is falling and kind of burying it. She's designing Winterfell in dance, as we'll see it, when it gets buried in the snow, and Theon is there creeping around with Mance and his women singers. And
speaking of creeping, she has some trouble building some archways and bridges and little intricacies, and that's when we learn that fucking Baelish has been staring at her for God knows how long.
I did want to point out the language here. Dawn stole into her garden like a thief. For this moment in time,
that couldn't mean anything.
It becomes her garden. It's just her little frozen moment in time where she's back home, even for just a moment. And then, speaking of thieves stealing the peace, here comes creeper fucking Baelish to steal any semblance of peace that she would have.
Yeah, he offers her a way to fix the...
Pack the snow around a stick, my stick. Touch my stick, Sansa.
Yes, that's essentially what he's... Yes. Uh-huh.
It's the fucking worst. And I like Machiavellian players. I like people that play the fucking long game, that manipulate. I like well-written characters. This Littlefinger pisses me off in this chapter because of how,
blatantly he throws away his regards for the long con.
For any game he's playing.
Oh, I don't give a shit if the jig is up.
It's pure Tyrionism in this book, where we were mad at Tyrion for thinking with his dick, and that's exactly what Baelish does. And also, just for, disturbing this girl's fucking peace. I was vibing with Sansa. Girl, yeah, we building this shit. Look at, we out here. And then it's oh, right. There's a real world and there's fucking shitty people around us that we don't like. And so, yeah, she has no idea how long he's been watching. A while. He's been watching you for a while.
Far too long.
And yeah, he asks, may I come into your castle, my lady?
Gross.
And then she's like, don't break it, which... Hymen imagery, Sansa's a virgin.
Right,
I hate it so much. And he's because she's be, and he finishes her saying gentle, and he's fucking creeping at her.
Oh, this is how we groom the wife.
Yeah, and then he says, Winterfell has withstood fiercer enemies than me. It is Winterfell, is it not? Which I do like that line because, you're fucking right, Littlefinger. It has, and she will. And so, yeah.
Step off!
But yeah, Sansa tells him it is Winterfell, and he says, I used to dream of it in those years after Cat went north with Eddard Stark. In my dreams, it was ever a dark place and cold. And she's like, nah, it's warm as fuck. They pipe hot water through the walls and shit.
You don't know what you're talking about,
so
bro.
You don't know a goddamn thing.
Walls are heated. Haven't you guys ever heard of interior heating systems?
You don't have interior plumbing up here? Get with the fucking times. It's 2026.
You don't evolve. You live in a high altitude where it's expected to be cold and windy. You don't know how to deal with that. In the north, we solve our problems. We don't just sit up there shivering going, oh, we're cold. No, we run hot water through the springs that are heated by the dragons that live underneath of the city,
Tinfoil. Littlefinger strokes his chin where his beard used to be, but Lysa made him shave it off, because controlling and changing people is exactly what you do as soon as you marry them.
He also looked like he just got done clubbing at Jersey Shore, so...
He tells her he says, the glass was locked in frames. No twigs are your answer. So he starts showing her how they begin to... He says, we'll need to imagine the glass to be sure, but she says this is just right. So, he's earning her favor. And then he touches her face, and he says, and so is that.
Get your goddamn hands off us!
Stop touching her. And she's like, so is what? And he's like, your smile, my lady. Shall I make another for you? Ugh. And she says, if you would. And he says, nothing would please me more. And so he's helping her. And then when they're done, she's like, oh, there was gargoyles. How do we do gargoyles? And he's like, well, if it's snowing, wouldn't it?
Mr. fucking clever.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, yeah, they'd just be lumps. So they do lumps, and they make a broken tower, and they do it side by side. And when Sansa sticks her fingers through the top and grabs a handful of snow, because it's the broken tower, she flings it in his face, and, cute but wasted, not with him, Sansa. No, because now he thinks
because she has no clue that he's about to be the fucking
right.
perv
For her, it's trying to have fun with her siblings, and here's using a snowball, and for him, it's flirting, and he's like, oh, that was unchivalrously done. I'm gonna kiss you now, and it's fucking gross.
Christ.
And she said, when he says that was unchivalrously done, she says, as was bringing me here, you cunt. When you said you were going to bring me home, I added the cunt part. But when you said you were going to bring me home. So, she kind of gets real for a minute.
Yeah, she calls him out, stands on business.
And she wonders where this courage came from. And then thinks, from Winterfell. I am stronger in the walls of Winterfell. Fuck yeah, you are. Fuck yeah, you are. Kick him in the dick. Grab his dick and twist it. I fucking hate this part, man. It was such a beautiful, almost song-like fucking chapter, and then he ruined it. Yeah. So nothing could please me more than to help you with my castle. I fear that was a lie. There is something that could please me more. And then he steps up.
Epstein Island. We get it.
Yeah, he's like, let's go on a plane ride. Sansa tries to step back. This is assault. And he pulls her into his arms, and suddenly he's kissing her. She tries to squirm. Assault. But he only pushes himself harder more tightly.
Extra assault.
His mouth is on hers, swallowing her words. Assault and silencing now. And he tastes of mint. For half a heartbeat, she yielded to his kiss before she turned away and wrenched free. So, for half a heartbeat, she was too stunned to react.
Right.
And then was immediately like, ew, get the fuck off me, ew. And then she asks him, what are you doing? And he says, kissing a snowmaid.
Okay, well, that's rape, so stop.
Assault. Grab his dick and twist it.
Just get off.
And so Sansa says, you're supposed to kiss her. And she glances up to where Lysa's balcony is, but it's empty. Thankfully, because Lysa literally just stormed away, pissed, and is about to be like, I'm going to kill this bitch. And
I don't think we mentioned that Lysa did sit there and watch her building a castle.
Watched her building the castle for a bit, and then went away, but as we'll learn in a bit, saw
her husband raping a child.
And, blames the child, was going to victim blame. Sansa. And, he's like, Lysa has no cause for the complaint. You should see yourself. You're asking for it, wearing that short skirt and covered in snow, my lady. All the worst fucking things that, perpetrators say to their assault victims.
Right. Well, she told me she was 18.
Yeah. He says, you must be cold. Let me warm you. Take off those gloves and give me your hands. Big dog. These are fighting words. I'm about to take off my gloves and give you these hands.
About to climb in some pages and whoop your ass.
And she says, I won't. And thinks he sounded like Marillion the night he'd got so drunk at the wedding. Only this time, Lothar Brune would not save her. Because Lothar Brune was Peter's man.
He's mouth breathing over her right now. And they sound alike. Right, because he sounds like a neckbeard who's just being gross and Well,
right, straight up he was like, hey, take off your gloves so I can stick them down my pants. I'll warm them up for you.
Fuck's sake.
And she's like, I might have been your daughter. Like, you want to chill? And he's like, might have been, but you're not. You're Eddard Stark's and Kat's daughter, and you're even more beautiful than she was.
And so it's completely okay because we're not related. I don't care that I'm 35 years your elder and that you're underage.
Thankfully, I guess, they're interrupted by the little shit of the fucking century, Robert, who's like, oh, a castle I can fuck up. And they bow to him, and they're like, Lord Robert. And Littlefinger asks, should you be out here, without a fucking bubble because you're such a little...
Right. You have no immune system.
You have nothing. And he asks if Littlefinger made it, and Elaine did most of it, and Sansa says it's meant to be Winterfell, and he's like, Winterfell? And Sansa's like, yeah, the seat of House Stark, the great castle of the north. And he's like, it's not so great, which, like, smack a kid. Go for it, Sansa. It's fine.
And she does.
And then he says, look, here comes a giant to knock it down. And he stood his doll in the snow and begins to jerk it around, going, tromp, tromp, I'm a giant, ho, ho, open your gates or I'll mash them and smash them. And then he knocks the top off a gatehouse tower, and then another, and Sansa demands he stops, but he swings it again, and a foot of the wall explodes. She grabs his hand, but caught the doll instead. There's a loud rip, and the doll tears. Suddenly, the doll's head, she had the head, Robert had the legs, and rag and sawdust stuffing was spilling in the snow. So lots of people have pointed out this imagery of a giant dying at the gates of Winterfell. Could be Littlefinger. Could also just straight up be giants from the north that Jon Snow we know is dealing with. I'm praying that it's Littlefinger right here, right now, like, because he needs to die at some point because of Sansa ripping his fucking head off.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to see Sansa's giants tearing to
like
Littlefinger.
1-1. Sansa being like 1-1.
Yeah, she's got her,
Get 'em.
her little henchmen
Sick 'em.
of
Yeah,
giants
yeah.
that she can just fuck that guy up.
Robert fucking goes into a spasm yelling, you killed him, and then he's flinging and flailing about and then completely destroys this fucking amazing snow castle. Baelish jumps down, shouts for the Maester. They come. Maester Coleman arrives a short time. The shaking sickness is nothing new for them all, so, they're just dealing with it. They give him half a cup of dream wine, and slowly the violence of his fit begins to ebb away, and they take him to Coleman's chambers where he's going to leech him.
I don't want leeching. No, you want to be a little shit and keep ruining people's day.
Yeah. Sansa says it was my fault. I didn't mean to, but Littlefinger's like, he was destroying the castle because Littlefinger only cares about Sansa.
Right.
And the boy said, it was a giant. She killed him. It wasn't me. I hate her. She's a bastard, and I hate her, and I don't want to be leeched. And Coleman's like, it's the bad blood that makes you angry. Come on now.
Yeah, and this is just, again, we've seen Sansa all locked up in King's Landing dealing with the torturous Cersei and Joffrey. This is one of her torturers here, and, like, the mental abuse, even if it's not become physical yet, until Lysa starts slapping the shit out of her.
Well, she can see it, too, because she's like, that's my lord husband right there. That's who Lysa means to marry me to. And like, if it's already this bad where he's demanding all this shit, then, like, it's only going to get worse from here. So she gets pissed. She's not sure why, but she thinks at least Joffrey was sound of body. Lols. Get shit on. And then she grabs the doll head and jams it on a stick outside the gates of Winterfell. And
fuck yeah.
Right. That's the imagery that, like, we're hoping to see because, as we know, Littlefinger's sigil from his father's branch of the house is a giant's head, the Titan of Braavos' head, on a field of whatever. And so hopefully that bodes not well for Littlefinger.
Yeah, so Sansa goes up to her room, separates herself, panicking.
Yeah, she starts to have the anxiety that Lysa's going to be pissed. And maybe she'll send me away, but doubtful.
Yeah, hopeful dreaming for the girl who stopped believing in songs.
Mm-hmm.
So
she would have welcomed the banishment. The gates of the moon are larger than the Eyrie and livelier. Lord Nestor Royce seemed pretty chill.
Which we'll see some of that in what's that one? Dance with Dragons?
Yeah.
Maybe it's some sample chapters.
Yeah.
In the Elaine sample chapters, we get to see down there below the Eyrie at some of the other gates where there's little parties and festivities that are happening.
His daughter Miranda kept his castle for him, and everyone said how frolicsome she was.
Bad bitch.
Even Sansa's bastardy might not count too much against her below, and so she thinks one of Lord Robert's baseborn daughters was in service. We met, the name is eluding me right now, but Catelyn met her as she was the guide up to the Eyrie way back when. And then she thinks, I'll just tell my aunt I don't want to marry
I thought that was
Robert.
Miranda.
Is it Miranda?
Yeah, I thought she met Miranda. Maybe I'm wrong. Listeners will write in and tell us.
Yeah, she thinks not even a high septon could declare a woman married if she refused to say the vows, and she's not a beggar, no matter what her aunt says. She's 13, a woman flowered and wed, and heir to Winterfell. And she doesn't want to marry this man, this little dude. She would rather marry Tyrion again.
13.
And if Lady Lysa knew that, surely she'd send her away from Robert, away from Marillion, away from Peter. And she thinks, I will tell her. So it's later that afternoon when Lysa summons her, and Sansa had been trying to gather her courage all day, but when Marillion appears, she's like, fuck. And of course it's Marillion,
Right.
More fucking aggressors against Sansa. And the singer, his eyes undressed her as he spoke, but she's used to that. This 13-year-old girl is just used to this fucking pervert undressing her with his eyes.
Her.
He was comely, there's no denying that, boyish and slender, with smooth skin, sandy hair, and a charming smile, but he had made himself well hated in the Vale by everyone but her aunt and little Robert. So, luckily, Marillion is and Littlefinger, both of her aggressors are fucking hated by most everyone, so...
And each other, so...
Very much so by each other, yeah. But... he sang Lord Robert to sleep every night and tweaked the noses of Lady Lysa's suitors with verses that made mock of them. So her aunt showered him with gold and gifts, costly clothes, a golden arm ring, a belt studded with moonstones.
Yeah, he's just using her for money, and we see that.
He's like the less capable Bronn, where Bronn was at least pretty forthright with it and didn't need to rape women. He could kind of pay them himself, or find an actual woman, whereas Marillion, he's just a fucking bitch.
Yeah,
he's just a bitch.
He's just using his singing talents.
Sansa tells him she knows the way, doesn't need an escort, but of course he was commanded to bring her, and so she doesn't like the sound of that. She asks if he's a guardsman now. Fucking getting those digs in, and he's like, do you require guarding? And says that he's making her song so sweet and sad it will melt even her frozen heart. The roadside rose, he means to call it, about a base-born girl so beautiful she bewitched every man who laid eyes on her. Fuck right off.
Yeah, and I like that she does have the bro, if you knew, you ain't shit.
I'm a Stark of Winterfell, motherfucker. And yeah, but she just nods, because that's pretty much her default now, is to just nod and grin and accept it. The High Hall had been closed since she'd been at the Eyrie, and normally her aunt preferred the comfort of her solar or the cozy warmth of Lord Aaron's
Not this time.
audience chamber, but we need the moon door for this one. 2 guards in sky blue cloaks flank the carved wooden doors, spears in hand. And Marillion tells them that no one is to enter as long as Elaine is with Lady Lysa.
Then bars the damn door behind him.
Yeah, creepy
and
as
so
fuck.
She's locked in with these psychopaths.
Yeah, it's Red Wedding vibes, man.
Yep.
Because even Sansa picks up on it. She's like, why did you do that? But he just tells her Lysa awaits. So Lysa is sitting on the dais in the high back chair of carved weirwood alone. There's a second empty chair next to her with Lord Robert's cushions on it, but he's not there. And Sansa is tripping,
Rightfully so.
100%. This is intimidation tactics.
She is getting tortured, abused, and interrogated right here in the most horrific ways. It's Lysa just losing her shit.
I saw what you did. And she's like, yeah, my bad. Robert and I, we're both kids. I am 13, bitch. And, we had a little spat. And she's like, you're going to play the deceiver with me, you little slut?
Right, and victim shames
Yeah.
Sansa.
I
for
saw you
being
kissing it.
kissed
I
by
don't
Peter.
care about my son right now. He could fucking die for all I care. You're trying to steal my man. And Sansa thinks the high hall seemed to grow a little colder. The walls, the floor, the columns might have turned to ice. And she says, he kissed me. And Lysa immediately flips the fuck out. Why would he do that? He has a wife who loves him, not a little girl. He has no need for the likes of you. Confess you threw yourself at him. Was that the way of it? And Sansa, of course, is like, no.
Yeah, and this is all Lysa's denial and psychosis.
Yeah. So she's like, you are... I won't be hard on you. We have a whipping boy for Robert, so we'll have to find some common girl to take your whipping, but you've got to own up to it, Elaine. And she's like, I was building a fucking castle, and he came up and kissed me. That's what you saw. And Lysa goes nuts, saying, have you no honor, or do you take me for a fool? And then this drugs up a whole bunch of stuff about you're young and beautiful. Don't think I haven't seen the looks you give Marillion. I know everything that happens here. But you are mistaken if you think you can take Peter from me. He's mine. Catelyn tried to do it. My lord father tried to take him. My husband. And so it's that resentment building again.
Right.
And Sansa's like, my mother? What the fuck? And she's like, yeah, your mother. Sweet cat. Don't play the innocent, you vile little liar. All those years in River Run, she played Peter as if he were her little toy. She teased him with soft words and wanton looks and made his nights a torment. And Sansa's like, yo, my mom's dead. Like,
Right.
Can we chill?
Sorry she gave your gross, creepy husband blue balls when he was a kid and thinking that he had any right to her. Like, stop.
Yeah, so we get, like, the truth of some things, finally, that Catelyn, the night Lord Bracken and Lord Blackwood came to lay their feud before her father, Bracken's singer played for us. Catelyn danced 6 dances with Peter that night. 6, I counted, because, Lysa, obviously,
Obsession.
was, infatuated with Peter at this point. Even if it wasn't psychosis, like, she liked him and
Right.
thought she has this jealous streak, so she thought Cat did. And then there was no one to stop them drinking. They were able to kind of have a night to themselves as kids. Edmure got drunk, young as he was, and Peter tried to kiss your mother, only she pushed him away, just like Sansa did. She laughed at him, and he looked so wounded I thought my heart would burst. And afterward, he drank until he passed out at the table. Uncle Brendan carried him up to bed before my father could find him like that. But you remember none of it, do you? And so, yeah, psychosis has taken over because she's looking at Cat here now. Like, she's yelling at Cat. And she's like, I wasn't born, my lady. And she's like, right, so don't presume to tell me you kissed him.
Right, and so she basically bullies Sansa into a confession that she accidentally gives because she's so confused about how to even react to this situation, which is Lysa then takes as admission of guilt. And grabs her by the arm and drags her over to the fucking moon door. And
yeah, it's terrifying.
She has Marillion playing to, like, cover up the screams and shouts of Sansa. Opens the door and starts... this is horrifying. On top, like, let alone the fact that Sansa's 13... Anybody starts having somebody try and shove them towards the end of their life on a cliff.
She also has Sansa. She makes Sansa open the door, which is like also fucking insanely brutal. Of like, yeah, you're gonna open the door first, and then I'm gonna shove you toward it.
Right.
And so it's just this terrifying, while fucking asshole Marillion is sitting here playing so that no one can hear these two going back and forth. And Sansa looks down, seeing that it's just white sky, falling snow, and nothing else. And yeah, that'll make your stomach clench up a little bit. And Sansa keeps telling her, you're scaring me. Marillion is just playing his harp and singing. And Lysa asks her, do you want my leave to go? Do you? Which, fuck. And then Sansa's like, no, not this way.
Right.
Like, please don't.
At least she has the presence of mind, not like some stupid action movie where people are like, let her go, and they're like dangling them over a cliff. You don't use those words right now.
Right. Sansa's slipping because, like, the floor is getting wet. That's how close she's getting. One foot slips out over the void, and she's screaming. The wind is flapping her skirts up and biting at her bare legs with cold teeth. She feels the snowflakes melting on her cheek again. These ones aren't kisses, let me fucking tell you. And she says, my hair, because of course Lysa goes for the hair. As we know, Kat's beautiful red hair was what Ned loved. So Lysa grabs her thick auburn braid and clutches it. And Sansa says, you're hurting me, let go. The guards begin pounding on the doors, demanding to be let in.
Right, before Peter finally makes his way in by sneaking through the back. I mean, the little secret entrance
the Lord's take. Yep. He says, get back from there. Lysa, what are you doing? And Sansa is able to rip free. She stumbles to her knees, and he asks, what's the trouble here? And Lysa says, She grabs more of Sansa's hair and says, she's the trouble, she kissed you. And Sansa's like, tell her we were just building a castle. And then Lysa says, shut the fuck up, no one cares about your castle. And Littlefinger says, she's a child, right. Lysa, Kat's daughter, what do you think you were doing? And she said, I was going to marry her to Robert, but she has no gratitude, no decency. You are not hers to kiss, not hers. So I was teaching her a lesson. And he says, I think she understands now. Isn't that so, Elaine? And Sansa says, yes, I understand.
For the love of Christ, yes, please let me out of here.
And then Lysa says, why'd you bring her here? Why'd you bring her to the Vale, Peter? This isn't her place. She doesn't belong here. And he says, well, send her away then. And so he says, let her up now. Let her away from the door. But Lysa...
Right, he talks this stupid bitch down.
Lysa isn't she says no and fucking wrenches Sansa's head back to the door. And so they're still right at the edge there and says, you can't want her. She's a stupid little girl. She doesn't love you the way I did. And then comes what Littlefinger can't abide is I gave you my maiden's gift. I would have given you a son too.
And I killed John Arryn.
But they murdered him with moon tea and tansy and mint and wormwood. And, I put the drops into my lord husband's tea like you said. And I did everything you said. And my clever Peter.
Right, she starts revealing all his plans that he's like, all right, that's enough of this. I've only ever loved one woman.
So, this is proof that Littlefinger killed both Tully sisters? Because, Catelyn died at the Red Wedding, which is a direct result of John Arryn, and so...
Yeah, I mean, we do know that, because she says, admits in front of Sansa here that she was convinced by him to send the letter claiming everything was the Lannisters.
Killed my lord husband, just as you said, that you were so clever, you were always clever. I told father that, and I said, Peter's so clever, he'll rise high, he will. Why did you kiss her? Why? And Littlefinger's like, you silly, silly woman. You don't have thoughts in your head. It's okay. And then he says, I've only ever truly loved one woman. And Lysa buys it because she's...
Right, delirious.
At the edge of her sanity. Yeah.
And he chucks her from the door. He whispers in her ear.
Only
and lets
Cat.
her know.
But yeah. Yeah, he gives her a short, sharp shove.
Marillion trips the fuck out, and Sansa's also like, holy shit, you just murdered my aunt.
I do like that there is no sound. Lysa is just gone. All this screaming, all this, build up, and boom, she's just out.
Right.
And then, Marillion is like, oh shit, you killed her, and...
Yes, Peter's like, Sansa, go let the guards in, please. It appears... the singer killed my wife.
My wife. Yeah.
And
so, scapegoat Marillion. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only good that Littlefinger is doing this chapter. But yeah, he has now added both Tully sisters to his kill list. And it's purely because Lysa can't shut the fuck up and keep my name out your mouth. Right. His plans out her mouth. And so,
that's the final chapter of Storm of Swords.
So fucking good. Jesus Christ. Sansa's final chapter in A Storm of Swords, so fucking good. It really, I think, shows how far Sansa has come as far as just kind of seeing things for what they are. Terrifying that her last semblance of family left in the world wants to dangle her out the fucking moon door instead of protect her and be like, hey, you just got sexually assaulted by what you thought was a trusted friend. Let me protect you. No, I'll fucking yeet you by the hair and fucking try to yeet you out the door.
Right.
And then kind of gets her comeuppance with the short, sharp shove out the door, and then Marillion will be blamed for it. So that's cool, but banger, last chapter.
You said it. Last chapter.
Are you done?
No, I'm not done, but yeah. So
You should be done.
if you would like if you have anything to say about that, if you want to write in and correct Zach, if you want to just chat with us about that chapter, if you have any words or thoughts about the epilogue that we'll be bringing to you next time, send us an email, withoutmannersbrotherhood@gmail.com. You can comment on our videos. YouTube, Spotify are good places to do that. Like us, review, share, subscribe, all the words, all the important ones.
We got the epilogue left, and then the wrap up for Storm, and then that's it, y'all. We're done with Storm of Swords. We're on to feast. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
The time is nigh. So yeah, sorry this one was a bit late. Hopefully we'll be back more on a schedule. But I think that does it.
I think that's it.
Valor to Harris.
Peace.